Alright, so to start off, I'm going to just go over quickly some of the fraction notes I liked. This was just from a PowerPoint about models for multiplication and division with fractions. And I think this is definitely something I struggled with when I was a student, multiplying and dividing fractions, at least when I first started out. So I definitely think it was important to look at this and get a good review of it, so I'll make sure I keep these notes with me and use them as I go forward throughout my pre-professional and professional phases of my career. Right here, I remember this day in specific whenever we went through and did some higher level tasks with adding and subtracting fractions and mixed numbers and improper fractions, and I know that I had always struggled with turning improper fractions into mixed numbers, so going over this was definitely a good review and working through this, because now I've created some more meaning for it and I'll be able to help students along. And two most important things I think I found in fractions in my time in numeracy block were how the manipulatives can be stacked up against each other, such as the Cuisenaire rods, to show the different parts of the whole and how they can be compared. I definitely think these are good for adding and subtracting fractions as well. I personally like the discs more though. And then this was actually an activity here from my second lesson with Kira, and it was an activity on dividing the hexagon cookies up and seeing how many different ways you can divide it up into equal and unequal parts. So it was a good high-level task that I'm going to remember, and I can use as a model for other high-level tasks that will show students that one whole can be cut up into many different ways. So next I will move on to addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And first I'm going to start off with the problem types. And I definitely thought this is something I'd never known about, that learning how to write them and understanding what they truly mean was very important, I thought, because now I'm going to be able to help students make meaning, and I'm going to be able to help them navigate through problems. And also I'm going to be able to write my own tasks for classes, so I won't always have to use books. So I can help the class write their own tasks so they can understand the types of problems that they're working on. I think the hundred chart was one of the important things I learned about, and how useful it could be, because I never really had to use manipulatives or anything, but being able to visually see the addition or the subtraction, whatever you want to do on this, or learning how to skip count, I thought it's also very important with this, and that'll tie into the number sense section. And then another really important thing was learning different strategies of subtraction, because I had always just done it one way, and seeing all these different ones, it was almost confusing at the beginning, but I was able to make meaning of it really quick. And I'll make sure to keep these notes with me, so that if I ever have a student that's struggling with traditional subtraction or not grasping the place value based on concepts within subtraction, I definitely think that these can help out in learning and understanding those as well. And last, with this multiplication strategy, I think it's good for students that are learning to do longer multiplication at first, and they're going to see how the numbers actually break down, and they're going to be able to make meaning of the multiplication more and understand that they're not just multiplying numbers, but they're going within those place values too. So I thought that was very important. And last, there is the number sense section. So I'm gonna have move all these. Those are my task sorts. The first thing I want to talk about was the importance of learning to understand what level counter, or what type of counter my student is, so I can gauge where they are in counting and how well they understand it. So using this just as a guide to what type of counter the student is, and then being able to go through this and profile, hey, this is what the student's going to be able to do. I'm going to be able to use this knowledge and apply it to my classroom whenever I'm trying to figure out, okay, where's my student struggling, where is my student excelling. So just having that will definitely help me out. Next, I thought it was so important to actually go over what is the base 10 system, what is our place value system, and learning about additive symbols and our base 10 values and how they differ, and how it is important that students make an understanding of the base 10 so that they can further their mathematical ability. Because if they don't understand it, they're going to have a really hard time throughout all of school. Because I had never really had a problem understanding it, but I never really went this far into trying to learn about it. And even looking at these sheets, it's not hard work. It actually looks kind of fun, but students need to make sure they have this base of knowledge before they can go and do these problems, because otherwise they're just going to be confused. They're not going to be understanding what they're writing, and they're just going to be doing a lot of procedural work. And last, tie in with all that stuff, is task sorts and finding out levels of tasks, because it's important that we challenge our students, but they can't always be doing high-level tasks. And it was good to develop an eye for these tasks so we know what we're giving our students, what our students need. We can discern between levels, because not all students are ready to move past procedural problems at the same time, and they need to be challenged, but not always. So making sure we can look at tasks, figure out, hey, is this appropriate for this age level or this ability level, and using that in the classroom to build meaning of math, build number sense, and build durability. So that's all I have.